In a previous video, we took a look at some creepy conspiracy theories tied to various Disney theme parks, including Disneyland and Disney World. While many of these conspiracy theories held some truth, they were for the most part urban legends. However, in this video, we return to the dark side of Disneyland resorts by taking a look at 6 spooky and weird facts you may not know about these magical kingdoms. Over the years, there have been many different rides at Disney parks, and many of these rides have either been altered or removed over the years. So there's a good chance you may not have heard of the attraction Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. This ride is still operational at Disneyland after being first built in 1955, but went through some major adjustments. A more modern version of the ride constructed in the Magic Kingdom in Florida was closed in 1998. The ride is based around the character Mr. Toad from the famous book The Wind in the Willows. However, it deviates massively from its source material. As you may remember, Mr. Toad was a madcap character from an affluent family who had a fleeting obsession with many different things throughout the story, one of these being fast cars. And in the story, he crashed these cars due to being an irresponsible driver. However, he never died and went to hell, which he does on this ride. That's right, Disney built a ride in which, after colliding with an oncoming train, tourists are taken into the very depths of hell. And this hell is complete with cartoon demons, a high temperature, and a giant green dragon. It's a strange and eerie design choice, basically showcasing Mr. Toad's death via car crash and his subsequent journey into the fiery afterlife, which, as stated previously, never occurred in the original story. If you've ever been to Disneyland, you may have stopped to think, how does everything run so smoothly? We rarely see character mascots and actors appearing in areas of a park they aren't supposed to. For example, we would likely never see a character such as Peter Pan in Tomorrowland. So how do these actors and mascots navigate the park without wandering through different zones they aren't meant to be a part of? How do shops continually get restocked without us ever seeing giant pallets of merchandise being unloaded? Well, maintaining the illusion of fantasy within the park was something Walt Disney had always held very dear. He wanted guests to lose themselves in this magical kingdom. One day he spotted a cowboy wandering through the wrong zone and was dismayed. A cowboy wandering around rocket ships looked very out of place. And so, when he began to start work building the Magic Kingdom at Disney World Resorts Florida, Walt made the design choice to construct over 390,000 square feet of secret tunnels underneath the park itself. These secret tunnels had since become the setting for many spooky stories and creepypastas, as well as urban legends which claim there are nefarious goings-on within them. However, in reality, these tunnels are simply a way for characters such as Mickey, Donald, and Goofy to get around the park without walking zone to zone in plain sight, thus maintaining the illusion of fantasy for the public. They are also used to store food and merchandise sold throughout the park, as well as containing facilities for the staff to enjoy their breaks in peaceful, air-conditioned surroundings. Still, it's strange to consider there are Disney workers wandering around beneath our feet at all times as we venture through the park. The Mickey Mouse Club isn't the only club at Disney. There is an adults-only VIP area that is shrouded by mystery and never really spoken about. This secret club is known as Club 33. Although now advertised as a major attraction for the rich and famous, it was not always this way. It was once a very secret society. In fact, the door to Club 33 in Disneyland was originally painted a very specific shade of green, known as Go Away Green, to subconsciously deter the park's guests from becoming too interested. It first opened in Disneyland, California way back in 1967 as a way to entertain celebrities and Disney investors. The membership fee remains incredibly high to this day, around $30,000 and $15,000 per year thereafter to maintain your membership. Apparently, only 500 people are members of this secret society, and there is a long waiting list that rarely accepts new members. At least until very recently, when the club opened up a little more to the public. This leads us to wonder who the elite members of Club 33 are, and who has been part of this club over the years. What really goes on behind this closed door in Club 33's secret lounge? This is a strange one. You may have noticed at certain Disney parks, especially the one found in Orlando, Disney World, there are many cats wandering the grounds. This is intentional, as the cats are said to be a way of maintaining the pest problem that comes with any outdoor attraction, rats. However, as these cats are essentially wild animals and feral in nature, the employees need to make sure they do not attack the guests, and are actively encouraged to deter them from doing so. The same can be said for the geese which inhabit the many ponds and lakes around the park. A former Disney employee commented, "The geese are the real threats. They're extremely territorial. They hiss, they bite, and they will chase you." So it's best to avoid these particular animals if you spot them while touring the park. You may remember in our Disney conspiracy theory video, we talked about the allegations surrounding the closed Disney park, Discovery Island. It's worth recapping this story of the park here, as well as noting that there have been several other closures by Disney over the years. This is not exactly creepy by itself, it's simply the way businesses work. However, the parks themselves definitely have a creepy vibe to them following their closure. The two most prominent closures were water parks, Discovery Island in 1999 and River Country in 2001. Both of these are located at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Rumour has it that Discovery Island was closed down due to the mistreatment of animals within the facility, and River Country was closed due to the lack of guest demand. The creepy part of all of this comes from their continued state of decay. Each of these parks remains abandoned and gated off to the public. They are now ghost towns, ruled by nature and still located within the main park, but not maintained in any way. They are overgrown and wild. Disney warns guests to stay away from them and not to trespass, as they are no longer safe, due in part to toxic pollution around Discovery Island making the water dangerous and alligators inhabiting the shallows, which means it's inadvisable to swim out to take a look. This hasn't deterred people from doing so, however, and capturing both photographic and video footage of the state of these parks. Discovery Island especially looks pretty creepy in this footage. Disneyland Paris is a place for European guests to experience the magic of Disney without having to take the journey all the way across seas to the United States. However, there are some morbid stories tied to this park involving the deaths of park staff and visitors. The first comes from the suicide of a chef who worked within the park in 2010. This is sinister due to the fact he referenced to Mickey Mouse shortly before taking his life. In his apartment, police discovered writing all over his wall stating, "I don't want to work for Mickey anymore." However, Disney denied there was any evidence to tie the man's death to their company. Fast forward a few years later to 2013 and we have evidence of another attempted suicide, a man trying to set himself on fire, but luckily was stopped before any serious injury occurred. And that same year, a young child was seriously injured on one of the park's water-based attractions. There have also been numerous reports of poor work conditions at this park, driving many of the workers to a breaking point. It really seems as though working long hours while forced to put on a happy face all the time can eventually take its toll on a person's mind. So while we often view Disneyland as a magical kingdom, it seems, as with anything in life, it also features its fair share of darkness. And that's it for today's video. Please remember to give it a like if you did enjoy watching, and maybe drop a comment too, as well as subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you never miss an upload. This channel specializes in variety horror content, including creepypasta readings, horror gaming facts and theories, and general interest pop culture horror videos. So if you're interested in all things spooky, you'll find something to enjoy here at SuperHorrorBro. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.